Hey, everybody, it's the revitalization of the 2020 show. I am on tonight in a return to the 2020 show. I don't know if it's really a return. It kind of is. I made a commitment earlier in the year to do 52 2020 vision shows, and I clearly got caught up in the COVID arena and the political arena and all kinds of other things. And so had not been on for some time, and have been really intentional about that, actually. And so I'm back on, and the main reason I am on is because it's really pretty much a pretty big week, and I really couldn't go any longer without doing another show. And that show is because of Dr. Paul and the passing of Dr. Paul Gamertsfelder. So we're going to have a great 2020 Vision show. Anybody that's out there watching, I'm seeing people kind of jumping on, and that's exciting to know that everybody hasn't really forgotten that we were doing these, and that you're participating. I'm bringing guests on tonight that have known Dr. Paul, that want to talk about Dr. Paul, even if you don't know Dr. Paul. I'm just going to bring on some people tonight if I can figure out that, which I think I can. But hang on and let's get this show going on the road, and expect to have a great one tonight. Thanks. All right, the intro is on, and here we are. Well, I was going to kind of wait a little while for some people to maybe log on and see these videos, but I realized over the time that I've been doing them is they actually they take just as much effect when they're not live as they are when they are live. Well, the live's always better, but the replays are important. And man, very big week this week. Really no way to kind of put it other than Dr. Paul Gamertsfelder, who really is a huge inspiration for Mission of Sight and a lot of the work that we've done. Named as the father of work and witness, Dr. Paul passed away this week. He was in a long-term care facility or assisted living. He's in a facility in Columbus, Ohio. Had been there a little while, and his time came. 92 years he was here with us, and I had the distinct privilege to get to know Dr. Paul and to get to work beside Dr. Paul, work and witness beside Dr. Paul, and really have had the distinct privilege of carrying on the torch of Dr. Paul's ministry, and at least the eye care aspect of it. He was a giant in the work and witness arena and the missions arena. And so I don't think anybody could ever fill his shoes. Pioneer back in the day when I think they were doing telegrams, and if they were going to the field, they would write letters. You know, there was not email, there was not FaceTime, there was not Zoom. My goodness. I think I even stories of how they would go and assess a field before they'd go there, the time, you know, it would take to plan a trip, and funds flowing and all those things. Just really remarkable stuff. So I don't think we'd have a 2020 Vision show if there wasn't a Dr. Paul. And one thing I kind of felt like was happening in some of the previous times when I was going the show was I was just really making too much out of it sometimes, that it was just a, you know, like, what time are we going to be on the right time? Are we going to be on this night or that night and all that? And so, you know, I would figure that anybody's going to welcome me back. It'd be Jolene. You know, Jolene, I could bring you on tonight if you were available or not. Tonight's an open platform. Really, I'm going with kind of no rules, no structure. Well, there's structure, and there's rules, but less of them. I realized before I would get caught up like, oh my gosh, I got to be on at 7 o'clock and I got this going on, that going on. And I realized a lot of people watch the show after I've already done it live. And so this second half, I'm just going to do shows. I got to do 52. I made a commitment to do 52 and I'm going to do 52. And really the catalyst to getting back on is really the passing of Dr. Paul. It's really odd. I mean, I'm going to share some personal stuff tonight, just on how really meaningful he's been to me and what he did to create missions and create work and witness. Just significantly, drastically changed my life. Helped me to identify my call in eye care. I was already in eye care, but my call in missional eye care was really because of Dr. Paul. So I want to share a little bit of that story tonight. And one of the things about 2020 show was really just to tell the story of what's happened in Jamaica, how Mission of Sight got started, professional eye care. It's partly to tell my story. It's to tell God's story through our life and our times as a family. And when I left last, I really should go back there and see what the date was that I did the last 2020 show. But I do remember that it was near COVID break, and that just kind of set me out. Hey, Pastor Elizabeth there from India. So you got India on the show tonight. It's good to have you on here. The thing that happened to me on the COVID moments were it was a lot to try to keep everything going. The eye care practices, navigating docs that were down there to the Myers is going home, and how to support Dr. Nick being there, and just all the stuff that went on. And I think I just I had claimed I was going to take a halftime, which 26 shows probably would have been halftime, but I don't know how many I've done. There may be 16 or 18, and I just decided I was going to just quiet up for a while. There's so much noise out there on media and, my Lord, in the political realm, in the how should you handle COVID realm. And I realized I just needed to take a time to sit back and listen. And as I've told a few other people, just to find my voice. I believe I was in Proverbs at that time, and I was realizing, it just wouldn't be bad just to shut up, and just not make an opinion about anything, and listen and kind of discern. And I may have gone too far on that timing, but I don't think I did. I feel like Dr. Paul's passing is a perfect time for me to come in on the second half, because in a sense, his exit from this earthly place is really, it's a shame that we're not going to be able to celebrate his life like we would have if there wasn't COVID. I think there'd be thousands and thousands and thousands of people that would show up at either Grove City Nazarene or Good Shepherd or wherever. Now, one thing when I was talking to his wife, Ruth, that, most of the people he's outlived, and there probably aren't a lot of folks around that he ran with, but our charge at Mission of Sight, and my charge specifically from Dr. Paul, was to carry on the torch of the vision ministry of work and witness, and that he had started. So I can't sit back and not get on the show. I can't. I don't have the option now that Dr. Paul has left, and he's got to be up in heaven. He's got to be around Jesus. He's got to be wherever you want to define that you go after you pass away, whether it's right at the pearly gates, if it's in the seat of glory, if it's in purgatory, if it's in paradise. I don't care where you believe that you're going after. I know Paul's where he's supposed to be. So we're excited about that part for him. Denise Thiel, one of our Mission of Sight board members. I mean, essentially, Denise has, I would say, peripherally been charged with carrying on the torch as well of Dr. Paul's ministry, as her and I have run side by side for so long and so many years. Man, the impact that Working Witness has had on Denise. I could talk about Denise right now. I think it's 19 trips to Jamaica, something like that. And you really have to qualify every one of those as missional. I know Denise has been to Africa, Guatemala, all over. I mean, Denise, you ought to probably come on the show tonight. I could send you an invite if you'd like. It'd be nice to have you on and just talk a little bit about Dr. Paul and the experience that you've had with him. It makes me think about let's see if I can pull these up. I've been away for a while, so it's not easy. But here's a picture of myself and Dr. Paul in Marion, Ohio, at Professional Eye Care. Denise, I mean, those are our old frame boards up there. I remember Dr. Paul. I believe that's the time he came to either pick up those glasses, or he came up, and I had the privilege of actually examining Dr. Paul's eyes. And he was just a special character. I mean, people would talk about him like the Energizer Bunny. I just don't think he ever stopped moving. I think he just was always on the move, and always doing something, and really always living for the Lord. And so kind of reminds me a little bit of you, Denise. Always on the move, always involved, always putting your faith into action. It's pretty cool. And see, there you go. Denise is actually the one who took the picture, which is true. Isn't that kind of cool? So that's a little bit of my part with Dr. Paul. I mean, what Dr. Paul's done, again, I'm going with the no rules, no structure game a little more now, because I thought, oh, geez, I should have all that data in order. I should pull all that information up. I should be able to tell everybody all about Dr. Paul and what he did, if we're really going to honor Dr. Paul with this. And to me, I just felt like, no, I'm just going to get on here and start talking and see who jumps on. And also, I am going to work on getting some of that information together. And we're going to have a Dr. Paul part 2. I mean, we could have 5 parts or 10 parts, Dr. Paul, if we really wanted to go through and try to chronicle all that he has done. I know he has a missions book. I can't remember the name of it, but I do remember reading it. I want to tell my story about Dr. Paul, though. Man, it brings me up the thought that I need to get David Wilson, Pastor David Wilson, on this season for the show. Actually, if you're out there and you're going to catch this, Pastor Wilson, I got my sights on you, my mentor, my Paul, as I'm referred to by him as his Timothy. He is my Paul. When you look at those comparisons, so I've got my eye on you, Pastor Wilson. It's time for you to come on the show. I think it'd be great for us to share about Dr. Paul. I preface that with it's through David Wilson that I learned of Dr. Paul. The story I wanted to kind of share, the story I want to share is I just got distracted by Carol Shaw. I'm going to come back to that story. Favorite thing was to see Dr. Paul given the first eye exam. I've got a picture of that on the website of Dr. Paul given that first eye exam, and I need to figure out how to actually share the website and see it. But Carol, I'll pull that up. I've got a great shot of that. I wonder if I can do that while I'm doing the show. You'd think I could. But what Carol's referencing is, okay, I'm going to get it. What Carol's referencing is when we went down to dedicate the, can I get it at that same time? We went down to dedicate the GMC. One of the cool things was we had Dr. Paul there for the first eye exam. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to have Dr. Paul, initiate the first official eye exam for the GMC, the Gamertsfelder Mission Center that we built in his honor. And man, let me just stop there. Am I ever glad that we built the Gamertsfelder Center in his honor. One of the things that we did back then was that just decided, gosh, that's another part of the story. I got the story there where Rhonda could come on for that one when I announced at the Worker Witness Conference and over at Good Shepherd that, hey, I think we should do something special for Dr. Paul. We ought to build a eye surgery center for him in Jamaica to honor him, because having not grown up in the church, I would see a lot of things where it seemed like everybody was memorializing people. Like it was like, let's build this thing in memory of Dr. Paul or in memory of John Brown, and I remember in that time saying, well, why don't we do something to honor them while they're alive with us? And that was really kind of how the vision for the Gamertsfelder Center kind of materialized in a sense. And I brought that up at one of the things, and Carol Shaw is absolutely one of the biggest supporters for the Gamertsfelder Mission Center that I think we could go on record for. Always Carol was participating by either serving, by giving, by promoting, you name it. So Carol, this picture's for you. There's Dr. Paul performing the very first eye exam there at the GMC, using his ophthalmoscope, looking in at the back of the eye. I love, if you look in the background, just some of the ladies, our Jamaican, not our elderly, but our older ladies, they just come with dresses and hat bonnets. And man, back in the day, that's when the GMC had only concrete pillars. We had no framing out. We had nothing. I think I would want to believe this is around 2009. No, this be more like 2013. Geez, see, if I were good at all that, I'd have the stats, but I don't have the stats. I do have them. You know what I bet this is? 2011. I'm going to call it 2011 because 2011, I believe, is when we did the very first eye exam. And I think that it was 2013 that we actually did the dedication and dedicated the building. And then I feel like it was 2015 when Dr. Paul came and cut the ribbon for the entire GMC. These pictures would tell me the date, but that's when Dr. Paul and Ruth cut the ribbon to the GMC, which I believe that was cutting the ribbon to the surgery center in 2015, basically officially opening the entire Gamertsfelder Mission Center, because we used a shovel. I think the shovel would be from back in 2006. Feels right. 2005? Something like that. I need somebody to help me with the dates. This is why we're going to have more shows, because I think there are people out there that know these dates. Oh, this is a good one too. That's crazy. The first patient's name was Doug, and it wasn't me. I call that a God incidence. Like Denise says, no coincidence. No, we don't have coincidences in our game. It's they're called God incidences. And yeah, I do remember that. I would never have remembered that, Denise. I'm glad. Are you going to come on the show, Denise? Are you going to come on? Because I can send you an invite. I might just send you the invite. I know sometimes people don't want to come on. Like maybe you're not ready. Maybe your hair's not in order, I'm sending you a link in Messenger in case you'd want to come on. Let me see if it's going to. Denise Thiel, there you go. The link has been sent. Do not feel like you have to come on. You can keep commenting, but just in case, I gave you an invitation. So, first patient's name is Doug. I think that was 2000. Denise, you've got the mind, you've got you've got a pretty good Rolodex up there, a pretty good time frame in your mind. Oh, see, that's a legitimate excuse. It's a legitimate reason. Heading to the basketball game. Well, on the next show that we do, I'll give some more warning. I'll give you a good real invite. But I think it's 2005. We stuck a shovel in the ground, which is really cool. Ruth said that the shovel is going to come to Mission of Sight. We're going to be able to keep the shovel. And 2009, I think, is when 2010 is when we did that first eye exam, or 11. Might have been 2011 his first eye exam. I think 2013 is the eye clinic dedication, and I believe 2015 is when Dr. Paul dedicated the surgery center. I could be wrong. I will be corrected, but somewhere along the line, we have to put this down in the log, because these are important things as we look back on the memory of what's happened because of Dr. Paul's influence. I love the fact that so many people banded together to see the Gamertsfelder Center through. The recovery of sight of the blind eyes there is off the chart. That's pretty much what I would say. I think I might have a little video. I wonder if I have that minute video. No, I'm going to have to grab that, because there's some really great stuff that has happened there from Dr. Paul's time with us. His inspiration, it's really overwhelming if you really look at it. Yeah, I'll have to pull that one up later. But let me get back to one of those stories. Oh, those are fun. You know what? It's fine. I can pause. It's okay if there's some downtime in the sound. If I can find that video. This one's great. I'm not sure it might be too big to load up. Anyhow. So anyway, we're sitting there at the Work and Witness conference, and I told Rhonda, after I got back from saying that up there, that, hey, we got to do something like this, like we should build this thing for Dr. Paul. When I sat down next to her, she said, do you have any idea what you just said? Like, do you have any idea what you just did? And I was like, no. I mean, I thought the Holy Spirit pretty much told me to bring that one out. And I still know that he did. I'm certain of it. I do know that I had no idea what I was getting into. And Rhonda, who is more of a thinker, calculated it and knew, wow, this is going to change our lives. And clearly it did. And, you know, it'd be interesting to know what that impact, what my life would look like if we hadn't done it. You know, sometimes I think my kids wonder what their life would be like if they hadn't been forced to be a part of the GMC. I think we all kind of wonder in life what life would be like if we didn't do some of the things that we did. You know, it's not uncommon to look back. But what I think Dr. Paul always was doing was always looking forward. I think he was always looking forward to the next trip. He was looking forward to the next mission. He was looking forward to the next project. He was looking forward to the next team. And I want to continue to share that vision with him in that way, and continue to honor his life through Mission of Sight. We've had some really great things happen. We've got a wonderful board, that is committed to seeing his legacy go on. I want to tell this story. I don't know if Brian Stahl will get on and watch this or not, but if we would go back in my journal, which I've been journaling, so if JD, you're on there, I mean, I was journaling earlier in the week, and if you're not journaling, you really should. Just, yeah, you just should. Anyway, I was journaling, and kind of logging my days and looking at things. And I had said this week that I was going to be conscious to fast and pray. And when I was coming up with that on Sunday, I was really fasting from meat. Is really what I was going to fast from. I wasn't like going to go on some water only fast and all that, but I was clear that something was happening this week that I needed to fast for. I didn't really know what it was. Part of it was that I'm trying to be healthier. I'm working on eating better, and sometimes just having some discipline in something really helps me. Well, it always helps me when I have some discipline. And so my discipline in the fasting mode was be okay, you're not gonna have any meat. You're gonna fast this week and you're gonna pray. And that was Sunday, and Monday came along, and I don't remember what it was, but I had so much going on, and I realized I was staying over here at the house I'm at now. And the next day I had clinic, and I didn't have any clinic clothes, but I realized I had these scrubs that Brian Stahl had gotten for me earlier in the year, that before when they left one of their last trips, when they left on the last cataract trip, I think of 2020, most likely, I'd gotten these scrubs, and they were sent to me after they came, and because we were going to use them in October. I believe that was what the plan was. And COVID has knocked all that out. Can't have any cataract surgery. Can't bring in any volunteers right now. And so when I was here and I didn't really have anything to wear to clinic, I was digging through my drawers to see what I was going to, my dresser drawers, by the way. I was digging through those, and I saw the scrubs, and I'm like, you know what? I need to wear those scrubs tomorrow. Like, I'm wearing those scrubs. I'm going to wear those scrubs in 2020. Like, I kind of said a bad word or two at COVID too. And like, hey, you're not going to stop. I'm going to wear those scrubs. And that was Monday night, actually. So I knew what I was going to wear the next morning. I've been trying to prepare my clothes the night before. So I have one less thing to think about in the morning, as elementary as that may sound. And I got a call from Ruth Gamertsfelder. Or did I get a call from her? No, I got a message. I got a messenger. I wake up pretty early, and it was about 5 or so in the morning. And I had a message in there that she told me that Dr. Paul had passed away last night. And that was on the 15th, early morning. And so when I got the message, I immediately replied and gave her my number. We had a chance to talk. It was really nice. It was really special to talk to her. She's got some special story, I can tell you that, having really been called to be with Dr. Paul in this last phase of his life, his last married phase, in a sense. And what I realized then, though, at that moment when I put on these scrubs, as you might be able to see here, these are the Mission of Sight scrubs, and this is Dr. Stahl's motto is "Go crazy, do good." And I thought, man, how wild, or how God incidence is it that I really felt led to fast and pray for the week. Didn't really know why, but knew that I was supposed to. Ran out of clothes, and all I got left are my Mission of Sight scrubs, designed for the work that we do, and to wear at the GMC or at our new surgery center in Rose Hall, and get the message that Paul's passed away. So, and I haven't worn scrubs. I wore the scrubs in the clinic, and Sharon, if you're watching, she's like, I've never seen you in scrubs. Oh, you look like a doctor or something like that. And I'm like, well, that's crazy, isn't it? So I just, I like when those things happen. I like when that stuff connects, because I like to say that that's all God incident stuff. And it helps encourage my faith. It encourages me to know that God's really in control. Like, I'm really not in full control. Like, I'm probably we're all in some control, but we're not in full control unless we're controlled by the Lord and letting the Holy Spirit lead us. So I am certain Dr. Paul was fully under control of the Lord in the things that he did. And I'm sure he was human too. But I just wanted to be on tonight to just kind of lay down a show recognizing Dr. Paul's life and his passing. And I had put it on my story. I was just looking at I had done his years of his life. And so I'm pretty sure I'm right. I mean, he was 92 when he passed away. I think he was an April birthday. So April next year would have been 93. So 1928 to 2020. And the last little God incidents I want to share with you tonight is that I just think it's perfect that Dr. Paul passed away in 2020. I mean, he's the optometrist extraordinaire. He's the father of Work and Witness. He's a visionary of all visionaries. And he passed away in 2020. Now, to some unfortunate matters, people will remember 2020 like they remember 9/11 probably. That it's one of the worst years ever. It is. For some people, it's the worst year ever. For some people, it's one of the best years ever. It's crazy how that works. I've heard it both sides. And some might say, well, Dr. Paul dying in 2020, that's not nice. Who'd want that? Well, I think based on where Dr. Paul's life was at the time, it is kind of nice, actually. Like, it was time for him to go. And he went in 2020. I think that story needs to be written, or that story needs to be told. And that's partly why I'm on tonight, because I think that's part of my job, is to keep his memory going and to honor his life. Carol says the first trip and groundbreaking was March of 2008. Oh, see, she's got the scrapbooks. Carol, you think you want to come on a show when we do a Dr. Paul? I mean, I'm about honoring Dr. Paul all the rest of 2020. I would do 15 shows on Dr. Paul. I feel like it's not even weird to say that. Like, I think I would consider doing a show a night until his funeral or even through the end of the year. And I'm not going to make a commitment because then I'll break it. But I feel that way, that these shows, these 2020 shows, aren't really for anything more than telling the story and letting people see that God's real. At least in our story, God is really real. Makes me think of that Jamaican song, Real, Real, God's so real to me. I love him because he gave us the victory. Many people doubt him, but I can't live without him. That is why I love him so. He's so real to me. Real, real, real. I don't know if I can sing, actually. Actually, I don't even care. You know what I really love, though? I love Elf. I love what he says. I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. Tom Tony, if you're watching, Tom tells us, you got to sing praises. You got to speak our praises. We got to sing. We got to get crazy and sing. Sing for the Lord, which is the other one. Sing praises unto God. Sing praises. Sing praises unto God. Sing praises. Hallelujah. Ribbon cutting. Grand opening was May 2011. Yeah, see, Carol, I think that somewhere, 2009, we could have done that, or 10. 2009 or 2010? I think we did the exam. One of these days, I want to be like those famous people and say, this 2020 show is being sponsored by Focus. It's the drink that keeps you in focus. These are really good, actually. That's my cheap plug for somebody to sponsor the shows. I did start getting, and I liked the name Focus, but it's blood orange caffeinated sparkling water. If you're like me, a little caffeine goes a long way. It'd be cool if his blood red. Then we could talk about Jesus. I don't think but you know what? I live in Tennessee now. And we like orange down here. So, little Focus water. Not bad for the soul. Definitely good for energy. And, it's not Coke. I wonder what the caloric intake is. Maybe somebody from Focus will see this video tonight and say that they want to begin to sponsor the show. Oh, 0 calories. Now that is a water I can fast with. Anyway, we've hit the half-hour mark, or a little beyond. I'm going to wet my whistle. Been singing. I'm singing. I'll tell you what, the angels got to be singing up there in heaven when Paul came in, man. They must have been like, they must have busted out in the song. You know what? Like, I can't even imagine what heaven's life I've never really tried too hard to fathom it. Do you have pictures of what heaven might look like to you? I wonder if it's skewed because of stories we've heard, or the way the word is, about the roads are paved in gold, that the gates are pearly, sounds kind of fun. I have become to grow an affinity to gold, the gold color. If Lindsay Frost, by any chance, is watching, she's a designer extraordinaire. She's helped me see gold in a new light. I always hated gold on doors and trim and all that stuff, but she's got a gold that's something special. Anyway, I'll tell you guys, I've had enough of this show. I think I'm going to move on. Oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't, because now I'm being told I'm a great singer. I do want to sing. I like to sing. I don't know if I can sing. I'll bet you I could sing if I tried to sing. I bet you if I took singing lessons, I might be able to sing better. Oh, scarlet and gray background. Don't forget your scarlet and gray background. What am I doing on that? What is that one all about? Oh, should I get a scarlet? Oh, I need to get a focus water with scarlet and gray and my scarlet and gray background. Listen, Carol, I will never, ever, never forsake the scarlet and gray. If anybody out there can hear me? OH! Feltz, if you're there, I-O. When I told my daughter Dr. Paul had passed, she pictured her dad showing him around heaven. Yeah. No question. And that's something. Those are fun pictures. I mean, I think we all have our own little pictures of heaven. I guess I haven't thought a lot about heaven. Like, you kind of get to that point where I don't know that I think about it. Like, so Carol, like, your husband passed away. I mean, it makes you think about heaven. I've got a good friend now that I'm working with who, spouse passed away. Like, what's heaven look like for them? What is heaven like? There you go. I-O. O-H. Oh, boy. Well, this was fun. I don't know if you're watching or not. I'm singing. I don't think I've sung on a show yet. You know what I need to get on a show? I need to get Jolene on the show to sing. She likes to sing. A lot of people like to sing. We could get, one thing, I don't know how they do it, but I've seen on the Zooms where they have like 10 people singing all at once, and they sound like they're really singing, like they're all together singing. And I don't know, maybe it's our internet speed isn't that good, but I just feel like we couldn't pull that off. But if anybody wants to join and do some singing with me on one of these next shows, just let me know. But before I get too weird and my kids watch this and say that I'm a little bit loopy or crazy, I will say it must be the focus water, because it's just water with a little caffeine. I'm going to move on. Look forward to another show coming up soon. I'll send out little blasts before I go. Carol, we should connect a little bit. If you could do some homework on dates. I remember you had this big thing at one of the Work and Witness conferences that kind of chronicled Dr. Paul's missional life when it was like his 50-year anniversary. Man, there's so many good things about him. It's sad that he's gone. It is. I want to close this with what I was saying is that what I was going to say is that I have this moment of grief and relief for Dr. Paul. The grief is that he's not around anymore. That kind of sucks, right? It's not nice, but he was at the end of his life, and he didn't need to be where he was anymore, and he is now in heaven. So that's like relief. Like, we got to be happy for that. That's the blessing of Christian faith, in my opinion. It's one of the blessings, is having that kind of is having one of those kind of moments, that you can look sadness in the face and know that there's joy on the other side. I don't know a lot of other religions or others that have that ability than us in our Christian faith. Jeff Kunselman, when I was 21, Dr. Paul took me to lunch and gave me Zig Ziglar's book, See You at the Top. Wow. Yeah. Jeff is like one of the, serious leader in the Church of the Nazarene and district superintendent. I don't even know what you are now. Are you still a district superintendent? Have you moved on? Are you going to be on the, one of the generals one day, Jeff? I mean, that's the kind of influence that Dr. Paul had on people. I feel like when I was with him, I don't know about you, Jeff, but I felt like he inspired me that I could do about anything, and more, not just something, but I could do anything and more. And I really want to share that call that I had with Dr. Paul, but I'm going to save that moment for when David Wilson is on with me. So I'm shouting you out again, Dr. Pastor David Wilson. I want to have you on the show. I want to talk about Dr. Paul with you. And if anybody out there is watching this on replay or anything else, and you see this and you want to join in on a chat about Dr. Paul, I'm on. It's so easy for me and you to have a little back and forth video here and to put this out on the airwaves. And what these videos do, these 2020 shows do, is they are a video chronicle of the life and times. So I really hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I feel like I'm at that moment. We usually go an hour, but since I have no guest, I'm going to close this one out at the 45-minute mark, unless something different happens here in the next 2.5 minutes. I feel like I've shown my pictures, which I have many more than what I've shown tonight. But we hit some big ones. Dr. Paul doing his first exam, Dr. Paul cutting the ribbon. We can do the groundbreaking one at the newspaper article that we have saved, and just enjoy some of the special blessings that we've experienced because of what Dr. Paul's done. I got to share this one. This is Max and Griffin in the background, and Martina. She was a work and witness coordinator extraordinaire from Mount Sterling, Church of the Nazarene. That is us throwing in the sand to make some more concrete, to make the cement, I should say, to lay the blocks of the Gamertsfelder Mission Center. Boy, Max, 8 years there. That's 20 years. I mean, that's 2005, 2006. Pretty crazy, amazing stuff. I can't help but do a couple of these. There's Griffin, early days before we even started the GMC, when we had our call to missions and work and witness. And I'm going to hit the boys up tonight, Max and Griffin and myself there. I think that was last year, Thanksgiving. They did grow up to be amazing young men. And here's another great one. I'm going to throw in some history. Back when that was like the first kind of cell phone. Kyla, Griffin, and Max at our first Jamaica West District Assembly. I wouldn't have been in any of those places had it been not for Dr. Paul. Like, you're not even close. Denise Thiel, one of her first trips. I mean, first labor of love trip there. We're sanding down an altar for Mandeville Church of the Nazarene. I mean, oh, look at me without a shirt. Here we are, better dressed up. I mean, these are Dr. Paul. These things happen because of Dr. Paul. These are Dr. Paul games. Andy Feltz. Work and witness. It'll change your life. And I'm just going to finish on this one with the orchestrator. I mean, God orchestrates everything, in my quiet opinion. And I don't think there's anybody better to orchestrate your life than the good Lord. And I think that's one thing Dr. Paul would certainly attend to, is that, you know, let your life speak, and let your actions speak, and let your faith speak, and sing. I'm singing for Dr. Paul. And you know what? He's probably playing a huge pipe organ in the sky, because that's the other thing about Dr. Paul. He was he was uh, a pipe organ, like the big organ. I mean, like, I never saw him play it, but I wish I would have. Somebody must have it on a video. But he was so generous, kind, and supportive. Yep, and that's right. Just appreciate you, Jeff, for chiming in tonight. Anyhow, hit the 45-minute mark. Actually going on 46. Lovely. We'll see you again. All right. Love that. It's a great way to close out, Denise. Thank you for that. To God be the glory, great things he has done. We could sing that one too. That's who I need to get on here to sing with me, is Denise. It's a good thing I had that basketball game, Denise. Otherwise, we'd be singing. All right. Well, as is the tradition of the 2020 show, I'm going to close out with the outro, which is basically the intro at the end of the show, called an outro. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching tonight.